Hey guys, it's Tuesday, January 24th, 2012. This vlog is based almost entirely on a quote from John Green's The Fault in Our Stars. I fell in love the way you fall asleep, slowly and then all at once. There were a lot of really good quotes in The Fault in Our Stars, but I think this was the one that got to me the most. See, the thing is, love in media isn't really represented the way it actually goes down. So I have a list of some complaints that I came up with about how movies and books and the media treat love differently from how it actually is. My first complaint is that it's way too easy. For some reason, in films and in books, people just meet their one person and they fall for each other instantly, and then they're together. And even if the movie is them getting together, if you can fit it into a 2-hour movie, that's not realistic. My second complaint is that it's way too obvious. I don't know if this is just me. Usually when two people get together and they tell me about it, I wasn't expecting that to happen. Unless there's a really long build-up, which again goes back to the too easy side of things, I don't know. There's this weird thing in movies where it's always really obvious who's gonna end up with who, even if they're dating somebody else at the beginning of the movie, and it's just so easy to predict. That's one of the reasons, actually, that I really love the movie 500 Days of Summer, is because they don't end up together. There are so many stories out there, like that one, that get ignored because they're sad. But in real life, that's how it is. The next thing is that if two people aren't gonna get together, their relationship is never drawn out. I have some friends who waited for people for a really long time. And that feeling of waiting is really difficult, and it stinks. And movies never capture that. There's no fear of pain in the movies. When people get together, they don't worry about hurting each other, they don't worry about getting hurt. Relationships in movies never get ruined by anything dumb. Maybe this is just a teenage thing. This happens all the time. I mean, one stupid little thing happens, some tiny little argument, and bam, finished. People in movies don't really fall out of love just because. That happens a lot. The best example I can think of is my own parents. Things happen, people change, and sometimes people just don't love each other anymore. These last two are my two really big complaints about the way that love is portrayed in the media. The first one is that it always happens. As someone for whom it's never happened, it doesn't always happen. Sometimes somebody likes somebody else, two people like each other, they never get together. It's the way it happens in the real world, and it never happens in movies. My last thing, I have a quote for this one. It is not a lack of love, but a lack of friendship that makes unhappy marriages. For some reason, our culture seems to skim over this friendship aspect. The people that I know that make really good couples, that are happy being married, they are really close friends and they understand each other, and there's way more to their relationship than just however you would like to define love. There's a really strong basis of friendship there, and I personally think that that is absolutely essential. It really bothers me that it gets skimmed over in a lot of books and movies. Now, I realize that this entire vlog has been a huge generalization. Obviously, there are tons of exceptions to every one of these rules, but I think if you took your typical romantic comedy, you would find that it fits in with most of these flaws. Personally, I mean, I don't know much about the feeling of being in love, but I think the way that our society chooses to portray love undervalues it. Megan, I will see you tomorrow.